All right, we're all done with our errands for the day. Time to head back. So all of the drives today have been zero intervention. We got one drive left, 22 minutes, or sorry, 22 miles, 44 minutes. Let's see if this last drive is zero intervention too. Then it'll be a completely zero intervention day. All right, we got FSD on. Oh my God. Huh. So just me, or did it go backwards?
No, it did go backwards. Yeah, that was kind of interesting that it did. I thought it saw the cars. It didn't know whether the cars were stopped or not. It just wanted to kind of back out of the. That was kind of.
Maybe it just rolled back or something.
No, if anything, it would have rolled forward.
Yeah.
Because we were sloping down towards the street. It's a nice neighborhood, actually.
Try a different charger. Yeah, it is a good neighborhood. It's in the middle of everything. It's central. Probably be better to live here than in, you know, Venice or something overall. More central to everything.
True.
All right, so we got to make a unprotected left, kind of a Chuck Cook's left here. High-speed traffic coming in both directions. All right, very good. Just like a human.
A lot of patience.
Sometimes one of the chargers is slower than the others.
Notice how tight it is between the parked cars and the rest of the cars, and yet it's still maintaining in such a way that it's not crossing the yellow line.
Yeah. By the way, my friend was texting me about the superchargers. That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
In case the people on the video are wondering what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, next we're going to make a left turn onto La Cienega Boulevard in 1 mile.
It's interesting how it even detects the red light at the top.
Yeah. The brake lights. So here's the 10 freeway. It looks like this time it's decided not to get on the 10 freeway and to try and take La Cienega instead. Okay, there's a bus stopped here. This is causing traffic to stop. The car wants to change lanes to go around the bus, but there's traffic coming. So that makes it a little bit challenging. But now it's continued, and now the bus is moving. So we can continue. In a 1/4 mile, we need to make a left turn on La Cienega, so hopefully it'll start getting over.
Free advertisement for Dominguez firm.
Well, it's not free. They probably paid for it.
Well, free on our video.
If they can see it. I don't know how much they can see it.
I think these lawyers will be out of business
Yeah.
when FSDs come in, right?
I don't think there's going to be any more accidentes.
I wouldn't be investing in Dominguez firm if I were you. If every car is driving using AI, then the chance of accident are almost zero, right?
Mhm.
So, or at least dramatically reduced.
Right.
So obviously the business of these guys.
All right, looks like the bus is pulling over again.
Oh, this is tight, guys. Ooh, wow. This time it did not want to just. I think the other time the car
It's got to get over. It's got to get over. Come on, car.
Why?
Because it needs to make a left turn.
Oh.
Actually, it looks like it can make a left turn from this lane.
Yeah, it knows.
See, it knew better than me.
Yeah.
I would have been struggling to get over it. Knew, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
This is what the advantage of software is versus a human.
Yeah.
It can have that complete knowledge. And, I've lived here my whole life. But you can't remember every single street, which ones are the left turn lane. See, good thing you texted me.
Oh, look at all these apartment buildings. So many demand for residential.
Mm-hmm.
Still not enough.
Yeah. That car cut in front of our lane. No problem. I'm driving right now. I'll talk to you later. Alright, this is interesting. I want to change lanes, but I like this lane. I wouldn't change lanes.
There must be a reason it's doing so. When do we get to a point where we start trusting its decision more than ours?
Well, so far this drive, it's been making better decisions than us.
Correct. I think it saw that this lane has less traffic
Yeah, I think it saw it has less cars in it.
compared to the other two lanes. So let's get ahead.
Now it wants to get back over into that lane.
Yeah.
Obama Boulevard. Maybe there's a merge up ahead or something. I don't know. Yep. Looks like there was a merge. That's probably why he was showing his blinker.
It knows. Now it's not changing lane. So it has to get to the far left lane.
Well, that looks like there were some big...
To get to 405. Yeah, go ahead.
There were some big potholes in the middle lane I just saw.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why it was avoiding it.
I don't think so. How would it know?
Because it stores that information in the cloud.
From other cars?
Yes.
Wow.
That's how it adjusts the air suspension. You haven't seen that message on your car?
Yeah.
So how do you think it knows that the road's rough? I have to adjust the air suspension.
Oh, here's the merge.
Another merge. Oh, I see. Then there's a merge on the left side. So by staying in the far right, there's less merge interference. Now see how now that it's gotten past that merge, it's now moving over to the left.
Very clever.
So it's thinking about things that we're not even thinking about.
Yeah.
It's thinking 5 steps ahead.
Yeah.
And then now it's getting all the way over to the left now that the merge has happened.
So smart.
Yeah, this really shows the power of letting software drive.
Yeah.
That it can think about all kinds of things that we can't even see yet.
So that answers our question, at what point do we trust the...
Well, I think we are still questioning it.
More than, we're
questioning it, but then at the same time, we're actually seeing that there's a reason behind it.
Correct. But our questioning was more curiosity, not doubt.
Yeah.
Because we know that it doesn't make dumb decisions. So I was curious, what did it do? Why did it do this? What was the reason? So now we understood the reason. Makes complete sense.
All right, we're about 1 mile away from the 405 entrance. Notice how it kind of was hanging back to not get too close to that truck. Then when it passed it very quickly.
Wow, look at that. This guy changed lane abruptly.
Yeah. Before it would just get next to a big car like that and make you uncomfortable. Now it understands that people don't like to be adjacent to a car like that where it might come out of its lane and hit you or something.
Right. Especially when the truck is big enough that its tires are almost at the line.
Yeah. These things are very nuanced, you know?
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think of it as necessarily something that needs to be done, but then when you see it, you're like, oh my god, it just creates such a more relaxing driving experience. Compared to before, you could technically say, okay, I didn't have any takeovers, but you'd probably be sweating, you know, to have that drive and not touch it. Now you can get there comfortably. Look at this. Disaster.
405
Yeah.
southbound at the South Bay Bend near the LAX. Always crazy. Bumper to bumper traffic. Never seen this stretch of the freeway. Less traffic no matter what time of the day you travel here. So getting on from the on-ramp to getting into the correct lane, which would be ideally the carpool lane for this car, which is 5 lanes to the left, is a challenge for humans, leave alone for software.
All right, lane change number 1. There we go.
Perfect.
A little slow, but it did it.
Lane change number 2 should be coming soon. There you go.
Lane change number 2.
Wonderful.
Oh, it changed its mind.
What was the hesitation? Was there a car behind us? No, there was no car.
It just thought there was a car.
It was
probably that
yeah,
truck.
that truck. Yeah, it wasn't
Okay,
sure.
lane change number 2.
Number 3.
Lane change number 3.
Very nicely done. One more lane change number 4.
Lane
Wow.
change number 4.
Then eventually to the carpool lane, I hope.
Once it opens up.
Yeah. It sees the double yellow very clearly. Look at this. The car to the right came into our lane almost.
And it started slowing
Yeah,
down in case
started,
he didn't
yeah.
see us.
Okay, now it painted the car as blue. So it's
Right.
trying to get into the carpool lane, I'm guessing. Or maybe not. Maybe it's
I think it's hoping it can get in front of this guy first. But it might miss its chance to get in the
Yeah,
carpool
it did
lane.
miss its chance. So I guess it decided not to get into the carpool.
I think it decided this guy's slower than this traffic. So let me just continue driving for a little bit, then get in the carpool lane up ahead.
Probably. So we are getting close to LAX exit, 105 and 405 junction. There should be another break in the carpool lane. Let's see if it takes this one now.
This looks like a nice place to get in.
Yeah. Okay,
Alright, here we go.
It did.
Lane change number 5.
Yeah. So when it's getting in and out of the carpool lane, it knows. Carpool lane is not always the fastest.
Yeah. Well, I think you don't want to do any uncomfortable or harsh maneuvers to get into the carpool lane, like braking really hard to get in behind another car. Because at the end of the day, if you can't get into the carpool lane, it's not the end of the world. There's always going to be another opportunity to get in. And you can still get to your destination without getting in.
And it knows when that opportunity is, how far that is. So it probably figures that out.
Right. Here's where the carpool lane starts to pay off. Everybody else is slowing down or moving ahead. And you notice the carpool lane opened, this car turned blue. So it's acknowledging the possibility that someone could get into the carpool lane. And it's aware that it needs to be sensitive during those openings that someone could cut in. That's pretty high level sort of reasoning.
Or that it was trying to get out of the carpool lane itself, but that car didn't let it.
No. It's too early to get out of the carpool lane. So this has had a major issue with the Crenshaw Boulevard exit where there's a pretty short space where it can get out of the carpool lane. So it has this issue where it brakes really hard to get out of the carpool lane. And that can be really uncomfortable and
I've seen that
unpleasant.
Before. Yeah, I have experienced that myself. It brakes hard to get to the carpool lane. Then it has to do a 5-lane change to get to the far right lane. And there's hardly any room, like barely quarter mile. So
we'll see how it does this time. Maybe it's improved.
So far, I'm very impressed with 12.4.3.
Yeah. It almost seems like they're bringing in some of the end-to-end highway stuff.
There you go. Carpool lane ends.
Hey, no hard braking.
No hard braking. There's a
little bit of braking.
Yeah.
A little uncomfortable with that car behind us, but not as bad as before.
Yeah. 2 more lane changes coming up. So it did get off earlier, about 2 miles before. Did you notice that? So there is another cut going to be, but that gets very close to Crenshaw, so it didn't take that cut this time. So it's gotten smart to realize that, hey, so there's a motorcycle in the right lane to us, behind us.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fast-moving traffic stopping it.
But motorcycle, it sees over. It. You can see that on the screen, and the lane change right behind the motorcycle.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. One more lane change. Very nice. So here's that cut in the freeway that's coming up. As you can see, Crenshaw is only 3/4 mile, and the carpool lane doesn't have a break yet. So it used to get out the carpool lane right about here, where there's a break coming up, and it was barely a 1/4 mile after that.
Oh my God, it's really coming up close. I don't know if it's gonna make it.
It's gonna make it. It's does it so well now. That is the confidence at a different level.
Yeah, you're right. It can do it so well that now it knows it can be half a mile ahead, and that's all it needs.
Did you notice now it does turn the blinker on even though the car behind you is right tight, to let the car behind you know that I want to change the lane? And that black SUV then slowed down, it gave us some room, and we got in.
Right.
So previously it didn't even do the blinkers, and the other guy would not move, so we were always stuck.
Right.
So this is great.
Yeah, signaling's definitely better. All right, we're getting off the 405. We're now going to make a right turn onto Crenshaw Boulevard.
Yeah. And both lanes turn right. Extreme right lane can make a right turn on a red light. This one usually cannot. But
yeah, I tried to get into the far right lane, but then there was a truck coming, so it backed off.
True. This is interesting. It knows that it can make a right turn even on red, so it should be able to go.
I think maybe it saw that other guy do it, so I said, okay, if that guy's doing it, I can do it too.
No, actually, technically, you cannot on this lane. That lane you can.
No, I think you can.
I don't think so. I'll have to check.
Well, people do it. Whether you can or not, people do it. If there's nobody coming.
If I remember my driver's test, even when it's, you can make a right turn on red light, it's only the far right lane that can do it.
Yeah, but people are doing it.
Yeah.
So regardless of what's legal.
But cars supposed to do what's legal.
No,
Because
it's supposed to do what's safe. I mean, obviously it has to follow the law, but I think it also has to keep the traffic moving. I I don't think it necessarily would have been
Ah,
bad if it
this is
made a right
nice.
turn there.
Did you notice how it turned?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
noticed
like
that this is a little bit less of a crowded lane.
one car less.
I've noticed it starts doing that more. It makes a lane change just to get in a lane that has a little less traffic,
Correct.
which is really nice because
Even if it's like one car less.
yeah. And I was complaining early on with this version that it was way too slow. So these little things to just get you to your destination a little quicker, like maybe you're not actually getting there quicker, but it just makes you feel a little bit better
Yeah,
when you go around that line of traffic.
that's true.
And now we're pretty much home free at this point.
In what way?
We just have to drive straight and then we're at the destination.
True. But you're driving on Crenshaw, very busy highway, a lot of red lights, a lot of stop and go on traffic, very congested highway, so it's not a piece of cake drive.
But it does it every
Yeah.
single time.
It doesn't, yeah.
So I would be surprised if there was any intervention, given that it can just do it again and again and again.
So with the 12.5,
Do you notice how it slowed down? And
Yeah.
then it noticed that, okay, because of this lane to our right getting jammed, the chance of someone cutting out in ahead of us, it was able to predict that that might happen.
yes,
And I wasn't even thinking of that.
yes,
But it's seen so much. Maybe even that car was giving some subtle hints that it wanted to get out.
right.
And it was able to just, not slam on the brakes and create an uncomfortable experience, but just subtly slow down, such that when the car did cut out in front of us, it was able to slow down smoothly without making us feel uncomfortable.
So what I was saying is, when I was driving on the freeway, that drive will not change technically from what it was today to 12.5, right? What will
No,
change is the how it gets trained in the future on that kind of driving, right?
No, I mean, 12.5 is going to be a big change.
For freeway?
Yeah, they're going to completely replace the freeway stack. So I don't know how much of the
So
end-to-end...
there's still code lines in there?
Yeah, that's still the old stack that's handling the highways.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like they must have started bringing in some of the end-to-end highway features over, because it definitely seems like it's gotten much better on the highway. It's not just the same old code. My God, President Biden won't stop texting me. It's so annoying. Shut the hell up. You think now that he dropped out, they'd leave us alone? That stop was so smooth.
Yeah.
It's like you can't even feel that moment where it stops.
That's
Human
what is-
can't do that.
That's what I was telling you, that we are not appreciating it much, that the stops and the accelerations from zero to whatever are so smooth now that we don't even talk about it because we don't even notice them.
Mhm. That's what really sticks out, is you're starting to see more and more of
See how that car moved, but it didn't move.
Mhm. You're starting to see more and more of it doing things that humans can't do. Being aware of things that humans can't remember. Stopping in a way that's so smooth that and so exact that a human couldn't pull it off. Seeing things before you're able to see it.
No distractions, no emotions, no text messaging, none of that. So at least you know that it's going to be consistent every time it drives. Even if you get a human driver, hire someone to drive you around, if that person had a fight with his wife this morning, he may not be in that great mood of driving, He may be distracted. He may be getting text messages.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or if he didn't get enough sleep that night,
Mm-hmm.
he could fall asleep while driving.
Right.
None of that happens with technology. When computers are involved, software is involved.
I mean, this is so good to have as a backup. They've started implementing drowsy driver detection, so they start beeping at you now if you get sleepy. I think in the future, if it sees you fall asleep, it'll just take over and get to a safe place and wake you up.
Yeah, take you to the police station. And call 911. Here's another braking.
It's really smooth. It really tries to keep a gap such that it minimizes unnecessary stopping and starting.
Mm-hmm.
And that creates a much more comfortable experience.
True. In earlier releases, I used to notice it would try to maintain the consistent gap with the car in front of you. Now it doesn't do that. Now it tries to maintain a consistent speed.
Yeah.
So that it's not a jerky ride. If the guy ahead of you is, going fast and slow and all of that, it doesn't exactly copy that driver's speed pattern.
Right.
So that is, notice how far the gray car is now from us.
Right.
But it's not accelerating because there's too much traffic on the right side. It's trying to...
But it's not accelerating because it didn't see the green light. So it knew that going faster might not get me anything, right? And then you can see here, we actually had a red light. So there was no advantage to speeding up at all.
That, and also the traffic in the right lane was getting congested, and that prediction that somebody might change the lane. So there's something where it relatively doesn't want to be significantly faster than the lane to the right of you.
Mm-hmm.
Even though your lane is clear.
Fisker Ocean. Poor guy, he bought a Fisker.
Great car though. I like the looks of this car.
I don't know if I call it a great car.
I mean, from the looks of it, it looks nice, interesting. Did they get bought out or file bankruptcy?
Bankruptcy.
I'm surprised nobody bought them out.
They didn't really have anything. They were kind of contract manufacturing with Magna.
Okay.
They couldn't even figure out how to deliver the cars. So they got the cars shipped in from Europe. And then they said, oh, how do we get these to our customers? We don't have any delivery centers. And the cars had all kinds of issues. Then Marquez did his review. He said, this is the worst car I've ever...
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was what really killed them. All right, we're just 3 miles away now. We should be at our destination in 6 minutes.
Speed limit is 45. It's already up to 48, which is
Perfect.
perfect. I would drive
Not too slow,
48,
not
yeah.
too fast. Just the right speed. I mean, the others are going a little faster, but it's in the middle lane, so great speed for this lane.
There's a car to my right. Another Tesla. That one's gonna make the right turn. We're gonna go straight.
Good job with the yellow light there, not slamming on the brakes.
Yep. But here's the interesting part. As the FSD keeps getting better, the drives keep getting boring
Yeah. They're gonna put me out of business.
and asleep. You tend to fall asleep like, oh.
Already I'm posting these videos and it's like, okay, here's 2 hours without an intervention, and it's like, who's gonna watch a 2-hour long video of the car driving and not doing anything wrong?
Yeah.
It's like,
Not having to jump in and save ourselves or whatever, you know.
exactly.
Where's the thrill?
I know. Like these zero intervention drives are getting like as long as a feature length film.
Yeah. You know, you should actually break them into multiple videos because nobody watches 2-hour videos, so it gets too long, as you said. So maybe break it down into 4 videos, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And,
Well, if you have one drive, you can't really break it up.
Actually, we did 4 drives, right? So you can break them each into a separate drive.
Yeah, true.
Whoa, look at that. You see that guy? So, as I was telling you, you had to make the software idiot proof. So there are idiots like him who made a right turn while we were still driving, and he did take a chance. That was pretty risky on his part to make the right turn. But the software slowed down, let him live.
All right, we're making a right turn here.
Oh. Did you notice it didn't get into the right lane?
It kind of half got into it.
Interesting. The divider here is kind of interesting. I'm going to figure it out. Very nice. A lot of yawning because the drives are good. It's much better braking.
Mm-hmm.
That was a short red light. Okay, we're getting to our destination. There's a curve cut here. Let's see how it gets there.
Pulling into the Target parking lot.
Yeah, that was good. And interesting. Go park there.
All right, yeah, let me give it this parking spot.
Yep. See, it knows how to do reverse, right? It actually knows it better than how to do. Wow. Really
Whoa.
well done. Better than I would have done it. My God. That's just amazing. Cheers.
So there we go, an entire day of driving handled entirely by the software. I didn't have to touch the thing. If you don't believe in FSD now, I mean, what's it going to take to convince you? Yeah. People really have their head in the sand. They don't realize what's happening here. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.